With Senate Republicans vowing to block all business in the lame duck Congress until the Senate votes to extend the Bush-era tax cuts, one of the bills being threatened is the so-called DREAM Act. It would provide a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children if they go to college or serve in the military. And joining me now, Democratic Congresswoman Yvette Clarke of New York, who co-sponsored the DREAM Act in the House, where the legislation is also awaiting a vote. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Cameron.
So what are your hopes now that we know that Republicans in the Senate, all 42, have said that they will block any legislation unless there's a deal on tax cuts? This certainly could affect the DREAM Act.
It certainly could, and we're really hoping that they can settle this matter because we're prepared in the House to pass the DREAM Act, and it would mean so much to so many of the young people we've already invested in terms of their education, and who can serve as a valuable resource not only in our economy but also in our military.
There have been several changes made to the DREAM Act over time. We're, I believe, on the 5th version of it, which now, this latest version, drops the age of eligibility to 29 from 34. It would grant permanent legal status to anyone for at least 10 years and would restrict eligibility for those who commit certain misdemeanor crimes and would limit individuals from being able to sponsor family members who they might want to come to the United States. A lot of loopholes closed that were expressed as a concern not only of Republicans but of Democrats. Do you think that this is the best version that you can put on the table?
We think it's the one that we could build the most consensus around, and that's at the end of the day what we were looking to do. We wanted to make sure that this bill was neutral. CBO was scoring it, and it appears as we've met that mark, so that we have a bill that will impact the lives of so many of our young people who are here in the U.S. and could really use this relief, and who we could use as a valuable resource to our nation.
But it's still not clear if these changes would get the 60 votes you need, right?
Well, we don't need 60
I'm sorry,
votes.
in the Senate, I apologize. For Senator Reid, who has pledged that he wants to get this done before the end of the year. Do you believe he has the 60?
Again, it's our hope that the Senate can do what they can do, that we put every confidence in Majority Leader Reid that he will use his leadership skills to gather those votes. We've done what we can do on the House side. We have the votes to pass it out of the House of Representatives, and so we're hoping that, again, Majority Leader Reid will do the same in his House.
And let me ask you, it is nice to hope, and it is a great word, but the reality is all day for the last 39 minutes we've been talking about the gridlock. We saw earlier in the week the president lead this meeting, a bipartisan meeting, where the tone was of compromise, and now you have the House voting to extend Bush-era tax cuts to only the middle class. John Boehner called it, quote, chicken crap, a maneuver by Democrats in the House. And it seems like, to quote your bill here, the DREAM Act, all of this compromise is nothing but a dream from our lawmakers these days.
Well, it's unfortunate. You know, I think the American people deserve much better. We're all prepared to do the work and the heavy lifting that needs to be done to make sure that we can, in the waning days of this session, get some really great legislation completed. This is work that has started, and these are promises that have been made. These are commitments that we have to the American people, and it's up to all of us to take a sober look at why we're here, and that is to work on behalf of the American people. And I hope in both houses, people will take their job and their responsibility seriously. I'm prepared to do that.
All right. Well, you are one, and we hope that there are many with you. Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, we greatly appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara.
Absolutely. Up next.